Hello, welcome back once again to another episode. So, the British monarchy has long served on a carefully constructed narrative that stability, dignity, duty, and soft power. For decades, much of the UK tabloid press, especially outlets like the Daily Mail, acted as authentic guardian of that narrative. Criticism was either softened, redirected, or reserved for convenient targets outside the core institution. But when even traditional royal publication begins to question the monarchy, um, exhalating wealth, spiraling cost, and apparent detachment from ordinary citizens, something deeper may be shifting beneath the surface. Now, from the recent article by N. Wilson in the Daily Mail, is not simply another passing critic. It represents a noticeable crack in the defensive wall that has shielded the monarchy from sustained scrutiny. When terms like Grotesque wealth, entanglement, and seismic greed enter the conversation in a mainstream, conservative leaning paper, it signals that discomfort with the royal institution is no longer confined to replication or fringe critics. It's entering the establishment. Now, for years, supporters of the monarchy have defended its existence on economic grounds. The argument has been familiar. The royal family attracts tourism, enhance British global prestige, and justify its public funding through soft power. The sovereign grant, which provides taxpayer money to fund official duties and palace maintenance, has been framed as a reasonable exchange for national benefit. Yet, as living costs in the UK continue to rise, energy bill climb, public services strain, and many families struggle to make ends meet, patience is thinning. The growing discomfort center on scale. The monarchy is not simply wealthy, it is immensely wealthy. Estimate of the crown estate value run into billions, and the personal fortune of the senior royals have steadily grown. At the same time, palace renovation costing tens of millions of pounds are funded while austere measures affect healthcare, education, and local council. The optics are jarring. Even those who once defended royal finances are starting to ask a blunt question: how much is enough? What makes the Daily Mail shift in one particular significant is its historic role in reinforcing royal mastery. For years, it aggressively defends certain royal figures and redirected public frustration towards others. Now, however, it appears that even loyal commentators are sensing a survival crisis. If the monarchy insists on expanding its financial footprint during period of a national economic anxiety, it's risking appearing extracted from reality. Public funding of foreign tours further complicates the picture. Royal visits abroad are often marketed as diplomatic triumphs, fostering trade relationship and global goodwill. But critics increasingly question whether these ceremonial appearances justify their cost. In hyper-connected digital world, where political leaders can communicate instantly across continents, the tangible return on royal travel is harder to measure. Does ribbon cutting and photo opportunity really translate into economic gain? Or are their expensive rituals sustained more by tradition than necessity? The monarchy defender argued that continuity is strength, yet continuity can also become rigid. Institutions that refuse to adapt to public expectation eventually faces backlash. Transparency, in particularly, if you look at it in deep, has become a defining demand of modern governance. Taxpayers want clarity about how their money is used. Vague references to official duty no longer satisfy population accustomed to scrutinizing budget and holding leader accountable. And this is where Prince Harry's departure inevitably re-entered the conversation. If you look back, when Harry and Meghan stepped back from the senior royal duties in 2020, they were widely criticized with the British press. Their decision is a relinquish public funding while pursuing financial independence was framed by many tabloids as betrayal. Yet, in hindsight, their choice complicates the current narrative. They remove themselves from the sovereign grant, choose to earn privately, and repeatedly emphasize the need of modernization within the monarchy. So Harry once spoke about the importance of transparency and reform to ensure the institutional survival. At the same time, those comments were dismissed by critics as naive or destructive. Now, the institution he left faces precisely the kind of reputational strain he warned about. When lower media voices begin questioning wealth accumulation and entitlement, the warning signs become harder to ignore. There's also the generation factor. Younger Britons, according to the multiple polls in recent years, are far less attached to the monarchy than older generation. For them, inherited power and the taxpayer-funded privilege often clash with contemporary value of medical and accountability. The idea that vast estate and title should pass automatically through bloodline feels increasingly out of step with society that claim to prioritize fairness and opportunities. Moreover, if you look at the economic argument sustaining the monarchy defense is under renewed pressure. Tourism to Britain existed long before the current lineup of royal and will likely continue without them. Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, and other historic sites are agricultural landmarks. Their existence does not demand on ongoing lifestyle expenses of individuals who reside there. Critics argue that heritage and petrol could be served at far low public cost. Now, the world's survival is not exaggeration in this context. The monarchy future depends not on solely on legal authority, but on concept. Public consent, unlike century past, modern monarchies recent on perspection. If enough citizens conclude that the institution no longer deliver proportional value, the debate shifts from mere criticism to cultural reform. Now, the Daily Mail apparently shift underscore broader reality. Institutions once shielded from accountability are now vulnerable to it. Social media, independent journalism, and global conversation have narrowed the space for universalism privilege. When the cost of the living crisis dominate headline, lavish estate and multi-million pound refurbishment appear starkly disconnected from lived experience. None of this means monarchy will vanish tomorrow. Constitutional tradition evolves slowly, but errors often begin subtly. First comes skepticism from unexpected quarters, then come polling data reflecting disengagement. Eventually, political figure may feel embodied to question arrangement once demand untouchable. If there's a lesson in this moment, then it is that permanence is an illusion. The British monarchy has survived war, abdiction, scandal, and personal crisis. Yet, the challenge it faces now is less dramatic but potentially more consequential. Relevance in transparent, economically anxious, equality conscious era, when even long-term media allies begin using words like greed and entitlement, the institutional insulation from scrutiny weakens. Ultimately, the monarchy defender insists that its symbolic unit. Critics increasingly argue that it symbolizes disparity. Whether it can reconcile through conflict, perspection may determine its trajectory. Reform will require an uncomfortable step, tighter financial transparency, reduced public funding, clear justification for expenses, and perhaps a scaled-back model of operation. Without such adaptation, the risk is not explosive collapse but gradually irrelevance. And that may be deeper crisis now surfacing. Not revolution but slow disconnection. Not outrage alone but indifferences. When establishment voice start asking whether the monarchy is earning its keep, the question ceases to be historical. It's become extensional. Thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, share, and comment. We love you. Thank you.